My friends, my name is Mutlatsi Sibego. It is a great pleasure for me to come and share with you right here on this video some of the transactions of my mind, particularly about my beloved continent of Africa. I want to talk about the challenges of a captured mind. One of the challenges, not all of them, because it's going to be a very short video. One of the challenges of a captured mind is that everybody wants to own your mind. Everybody wants to control it. Everyone wants to feature in it and be in charge of it. They want it so that it will do their will, what they want. Just like a young man who wants to capture the mind of a young woman because he wants to have a relationship with her or wants to be married to her. Or a young lady wants to capture the mind of a young man by how she dresses and how she carries herself, how she puts on makeup and so forth. There's nothing wrong with all those things, particularly when the motives are all good and the intentions are noble. And then there's also a mind that is captured in the business space where a salesperson makes a pitch and a presentation so as to capture the minds of those who are listening, who will then later on become customers and then be in a position to sell their product. Now, all of those and many other examples are just good because they are within the space of operation where everybody is playing and everybody exists. Then there comes the capturing of a mind through education. Then it begins to become tricky. The education, unfortunately, has been contaminated by imperialism and people who want to dominate and own, and so they change the truth so that they come on top and they lie about things and stuff, and they design the system, and unfortunately they make it such that you have nowhere else to get the education that you need except from themselves. For instance, they write dictionaries for the languages, particularly the language of English, which has become pretty much the most dominant language of instruction all over the globe. Of course, you've got other languages, but English is pretty much the most dominant. And the challenge with it is that in its dominance, it actually has led to a situation where even those who are aware of the truth are not in a position to change anything. And so, my friends, the African mind also got, unfortunately, to a point where it also got captured. There was a time when the African mind was free to think, free to build the pyramids, free to sail on the river Nile, and free to write on the hieroglyphics on the walls of Giza, free to do all the wondrous things, free to explore the concept of divinity, free to set up the university that later on was called the University of Alexandria, free to lecture and teach the likes of Plato, Socrates, and many others, free to teach medicine and mathematics and science and so forth, free to even teach spirituality, to a point that all the religions that we have of the world right now find most of their most powerful original stuff from the African. And so the African mind has been captured. Unfortunately, lately, the African mind continues to be captured through the media. And this is the present day method of capturing the mind. It pains me when I see educated people with degrees and MBAs and PhDs who've worked in corporate spaces, who've served in high echelons of leadership in churches, who have served in high echelons of leadership in society, who themselves are of sober mind, though some of them may not have education, but their brains are brilliant, but are not able to think for themselves purely because their minds are controlled by the media. And here is a question: who owns the media? The owner of the media is the same person who came and took your parents and put them in chains and sold them in America and in the whole of the West. Who owns the media? It's the same person who brought apartheid in the Republic of South Africa. Who owns the media? It's the same people who exploited the owners of the land in Sierra Leone and poured a lot of blood, spilling a lot of blood by killing people of Sierra Leone for the sake of diamonds. Who is it that owns the media? The same people who in Congo are mining so that the cell phone industry, which is only owned by them predominantly, can continue to thrive. It's about time that the African frees himself from this capture of the mind. Begin to think. Think about how you can come out of this. Think about how you can make your life better. Think about how the future will look like for your children, your grandchildren, and the entire posterity. This message is for every African in the continent and in the diaspora. Time to wake up, Africa. Thank you very much, my friend. Take care, my friends. Cheers. Bye-bye.